Good morning, Deb. I am doing great. I am a little bit on the tired side, though, but that's life. Hope you are doing well, Deb. Sorry if you hear that chiming. I've got several windows open right now. Morning, Alma. Rylan. Thank you. Thank you, Alma. Good morning. Matthew, good morning. Everyone having a morning coffee. I am here. Beth, good morning. Mike Stevens, all hail the all merciful and powerful Allah. One true God, Allah. Oh, yeah, I'm trying to say it, get this right. One true God, Allah. Akbar? Sorry if I mispronounced that. I think it's Akbar. Coffee. Linda, good morning. From Guthrie, Oklahoma. Kathy, good morning. Miss Murder, good morning. Morning, friend. Actually awaiting news on missing soldier Fort Hood. I live close by. This old soldier is worried about her sister. Would too. I read about the one case of the body that was found at Fort Hood. Morning, Colleen. Gayla, good morning. I want Starbucks, but the line wraps around the Lil. Yeah, lock. eBay, what eBay? I don't know. Kathy Drew, good morning. Best wishes and prayers on that, Kathy. Vanessa Gilead, yeah. Mindy, good morning. Yeah, Alma, I was gonna say that the nearest Starbucks to me is about 7 miles. They used to have one in the local Target center here, but they closed that one down, and they added one that's close by. That's a drive-through only right now. You can't go inside. But locally here, we have a lot more independent coffee houses. See, Dutch Brothers is they seem to be taking over the world here, because just about every city block, they're like Starbucks. In big city, you'll have a Starbucks in every corner. Here, Dutch Brothers is taking over. Blue Mermaid, good morning. Thank you. We've put a lot of work into this. A lot of work and a lot of money. We still don't have the light working correctly. We don't know what it is. Gotta wait for my buddy to come back. He lives in Seattle, and I'm about 300 miles from him. But we have to wait for him to come back to figure that out. I put the tester in the box. I obviously have electricity at it, but we can't figure out. There's something wrong with it. It's just not it's not working correctly. Let's see here. Fresh coffee, men's no sleep. Pamela Trickett, good morning from Ohio. Good morning. Good morning, Pamela. I hope you are doing well. Yeah, no seating allowed at my local Starbucks either. Yeah, just about everything around here, because we're still in stage 1 here where I live. It's going to be a while. I have coffee bean place near me. It's the bomb. Coffee Bean. We have a place called the Coffee Bean, Matthew, where I live here. Probably about, I'd say about 5 blocks away. We have an actual place. It's called the Coffee Bean. It's pretty cool. It's almost your birthday, July 10th. Well, if I don't see you before then, Rylan, happy birthday. What? Spud? I'm missing something there. I'll tinker with everything but electricity. Alma? Yeah. I don't. I can do pretty much just about everything, construction wise, as a handy person, but I don't deal with electricity. It's just one of those things where I leave it to the professionals. Good morning, Kazap. Cindy Hill, good morning from Tennessee. Good morning. Oh, you have an Nespresso machine? It's delicious, but I'm out of pods. Alma, I'm pretty sure you're well aware of what Kroger Fred Meyers is. So Kroger Fred Meyers had this huge display of Nespresso instant coffee. So it's like an instant coffee pack, and then it had a mocha pack, and it actually came with a coffee cup inside of it. And they were selling them on clearance for $1 a box, and there was like 16 packets in a box. I bought everything that they had. I don't need a coffee cup, but I take the packets and I put them all in a big plastic bag, and I threw them in the glove box of my car. So I have them anywhere, and you can make them with hot water or cold water. They work great. I've never had either a Keurig or a press like that to make coffee by the cup. Just seems like a waste to me. And I know you can buy the filters, reusable filters, but I've just never had one. If it's Nespresso, it's cheap. I like Nespresso coffee. I like the flavor of it. Saturday's a great day because I was drinking coffee. Me. Hope he does well, Lori. I suck at golf. My husband's Spud is in a golf tournament today. Well, Lori, I hope he does great. I just found out this morning that one of the many golf tournaments that I normally play in the summertime was canceled. But see, I've got my next golf tournament I'm playing in is July 11th, right, or 10th. Right. So I have to be there. I have to be there Friday. I tee off at 6 a.m. Saturday, and then I play Sunday. So it's Saturday, Sunday. It's 2 days. So I think it's that weekend. He's the 10th. So I'm going to be there like the 10th, 11th, and 12th, and come home Sunday late. And then the next one after that is in August. But yeah, we were supposed to have a tournament in 2 weeks, but because of COVID, the golf course itself, not the health organization or this, state health or anybody else, they've decided that the course has. They don't want, and they can't put into, I guess, they don't want to deal with the legalities, I guess is the best way to put it, with people not being able to have 2 people in a cart. They're worried about the waiver, and the legality of it. If somebody, if they put people together in a group and they have two people in a cart, I'm like, screw you. Why don't you just all walk? We walk anyways. put us all, say, okay, no carts, you walk. You walk or carry your own clubs. That would have been the simple solution to me, but the golf course said, nope, no go. We can all guarantee Watts is having a crappy day. This is true. He's probably having a crappy day. I would hate to be locked in a cage the rest of my life, but he deserves that and a lot worse. We have reusable filters for our Keurig, saves money, only makes one or two cups. Colleen, good morning. Yeah, we've never had one. Then again, I drink so much coffee. I wish I had one of those big giant industrial things. Where it'd make like 40 cups at a time. I'd probably use one of those if I had one. Good morning, Caleb. Good morning, Vicky. Taco Dad. I guess I am technically a taco dad. That is my son's nickname, Taco. Carrie Stillman, good morning, by the way. Didn't say good morning, but I read your comment first. Kind of backwards, but good morning, Cement Shoes. I'm doing great here, a little bit tired. I got home at a little bit before 1 a.m. I'm helping a friend of mine move from one city to an adjacent city to me here. So it's about 75 miles one way. They are relocating because they bought a house, the first house that they have ever owned. It's not the best house. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, but it definitely needs a lot of work. But the foundation's right, and the bones of the house are in good condition. It's going to need siding and a lot of other work, but it's better than renting and watching them throw their money away. It got to the point where they were living before, the rent prices had gone so high, that they were like, well, we can buy this place it's going to save us $400 a month. Even after you add in insurance, it was going to be $400 cheaper just to buy a house than it was to rent one. So he won second last year. He teed off at 7 a.m. Well, good luck to your husband, Lori. Wish him well. Carrie, good morning. Ryland, your dad loves tacos. Dad also loves tacos. Violent Tendencies. I like the name. I'll have to admit, I like the name. Violent Tendencies 856. Good morning and welcome to the stream. Morning, Will. Just wanted to say hi. Have a great Saturday. Congratulations on the new house owners. Thank you, Lisa. My friend Jason and his wife they're really looking forward to this. This is a new step in their lives. They've been married for, I think, 3 years now, but they've been together for 10, and they have 2 children, and they just decided that they're tired of watching their money go to nothing, and this way at least they build up equity. And if he gets transferred again down the road to someplace else, which happens a lot more than he would like, but it's been about every 5 or 6 years the company he works for has transferred him. They have the equity and they can sell it because the market here for homes is stayed pretty well. So he's looking forward to what he can do in his off time to improve the value of the place, plus give him and his wife and his children security. It's a pretty good neighborhood that they bought their house in. Good morning, Audra. Your late husband and I bought your first place when you were 21. That's cool, Blue Mermaid. Just looking at my notes really quick there. Sorry about that. Hot Scorpio Rogue, good morning. Very excited to getting your new home. I'm not buying another home. We're talking about my friend Jason. I've been helping him move, and I got home at like 1 o'clock this morning, and I will go back tomorrow after I golf. So I'm going to golf in the morning with my friend Jack, and so I'll probably get done about maybe 2 o'clock, and then I have to leave town by 5 to get back up there before nightfall. So, yeah, Audra, you remember Suicidal Tendencies, the band? I remember them fondly. Patch, good morning. Welcome to the stream. Just remember, for all those out there that do remember the band, Suicidal Tendencies, all Mike wanted was a Pepsi. Just one Pepsi. And his mother wouldn't give it to him. Just remember that. Evelyn, hi, Will. Been wondering what the wooden box is behind you. Is it an urn? No, these are, all right, so this, cigar box. They're trucks. Cigar box. Cuban fake cigars. Empty. Both of them are empty. They're just for display. When I golf, commonly either me or Tim, one of the two of us will buy cigars while we're out on the course, and I've had them for a while, sitting on the other shelf with all the other knickknacks and shot skis and stuff over there. Oh, hot Scorpio Rogue, 1 a.m. there. Just Ellie. All I want was a Pepsi. And morning. Good morning, Just Ellie. And welcome to the stream. Orchid Ma. Well, ciao, guys. Have a good day. Bye, Orchid Ma. Thank you for stopping by. There's Alley Cat. Good morning. Good morning. Hope you're doing well. Jamie's channel. Thank you for all you do, giving us the content. I watch you a lot while studying. Well, thank you, Jamie. So, can I ask what you're studying, Jamie? Probably said before, but I'm not recalling it right now. Patch, it's 1:15 a.m. in Australia. And you know what I've been watching for the last week on my cell phone? So I've been watching a lot of YouTube, and for some strange reason, on my cell phone a week ago, Shark Tank Australia popped up on my suggested video feed. And I've been watching the heck out of the Shark Tank Australia. Now, I'm sorry, but I understand Shark Tank. I understand that, but I don't understand the it's a difference between America and Shark Tank in there. I'm like, oh well. When they talk about the states and the logistics of things, and I'm like, ugh. I don't have any idea what they're talking about when they say some of the things, but I've been watching a lot of the Shark Tank Australia. I've been watching probably about 3 episodes a week, per day, for the last week. I feel guilty at yelling at my mom in high school going on 30 years. Can't imagine Christopher Watts' guilt, except monsters don't feel guilty. Yeah, some issues, but I think he feels the only remorse that he has is that he got caught. I think in his stupid little mind, he thought that he was going to get away with it. Oh, Jamie, graduate bachelor's degree. On my way to start my master's. I had terrible anxiety all week, but now I can finally breathe. Well, Jamie, I'll give you a word of advice. So I'm guessing that you had to take was it the CRT or yeah, my wife is working on her master's right now in psychology, and she had to take, what was it? I think it's called a CRT, or I don't know. I just remember I bought, there's 9 books, I think, and for what even on the used book price for those stupid things. And then we found out that they canceled all the testing here because of COVID. But and I wish you the best, Jamie. Just remember, breathe in, breathe out. It's my only words of advice. I know the anxiety level is definitely going to climb. It happens. Alma, YouTube recommended the Bison Stampede. Funny, but of course you watched it. Yeah. And I don't understand sometimes why they do it. It might have been that like Miss Murder. I was watching her videos, and I was watching Mel videos, and they're both Australian creators. So they probably suggested the Australian Shark Tank based on the fact that I was watching their content. Judah, good morning. Oh, well, hope you and your family are well from Sydney. See, another one from Australia. And faithful one, good morning. Will, you missed my comment that was up above. That's okay. I just graduated a bachelor's degree in project management. Your content plus puts my anxiety at ease, and I greatly appreciate it. Your wife is a smart lady. I struggled with some psychology classes. My wife is very smart. I don't know what she's doing with me, but she is a very smart woman. You got that correct. I guess sometimes love is blind. But what she struggles with is math. She can do up to like an algebra class, but when they get into some of the other math above algebra, she's just like, why? Never going to use it. Why do I have to take it? Why do I have to have so many math credits? What is Shark Tank? Blue Mermaid, it's basically a television show where small businesses go in front of a bunch of rich blowhards who and they pitch an idea to them to invest into their company. So for $1 million, I'll sell you 20% of my business and the products that I make. And they try to get them to invest in their business. Is basically what the Shark Tank is. And I think there's five sharks, five different people, and they call them sharks. That's basically what the show is. And Judy Moody's Life Blogs. Good morning, Judy. Welcome to the stream. Quill, good morning. Good smart women stay with great-hearted men. Yeah, I'll have to agree with that. I do have a great heart. So maybe that's why she's with me still. Math was a struggle for me. I must practice every single day, otherwise you lose it. Yeah, I understand that. Alma's in the same time zone as me? What? 9:18. Well, it was when she posted that. Thanks, Will. We have Dragon's Den in the UK, which is the same. I guess I'll have to look that up. The Dragon's Den. Hot Scorpio Rogue, you're absolutely right. I couldn't do this without her. I wouldn't want to try. Morning, Devil Dog. Hoorah! Echo 5 Whiskey. Good morning and welcome to the stream. Why that mess? Hold on a second. Trying to figure out why it censored out that. That's weird. All he said was good morning. All right. It's now showing again. Los Angeles. Good. I am still here. I have gone nowhere. I am right here in front of you. I am just hidden. Good morning, Karen. Karen Duffy. Will, here listening, do a bit of housework. I have 2 more storm doors to put on today on my house. So I'm gonna be doing after this live stream this morning. Well, I gotta wait until 10. My wife wants to sleep in this morning, so Leanna girl, hi. Boo Bear, hi Will. I'm new here. Nice to have found you. Well, thank you, Boo Bear. Welcome to the stream. Good morning, Carla. Your daughter Madison is 20 tomorrow. Well, happy birthday to Madison. Madison's a pretty name. I can't get the banner to work. I'm trying to get the banner, the ticker that runs along the bottom. It won't work. I keep on clicking on it for it to display, but it won't show up. Huh. Another glitch with the StreamYard. Been having a lot of problems with StreamYard lately. Trying to share links and split screen. I don't know what they're doing. I know they've added a lot of features. And recently they just added mobile services now. And you can now add 5 different backgrounds. Probably going to have to send them an email. Let them know that there's something wrong with their service. Jacqueline, good morning and welcome to the stream. My boy turned 16 and got his learner's permit to drive. Watch out, anyone in Sydney on the roads. I'm sure he's going to do fine, Hot Scorpio. I'm sure your son's going to, he's probably got a good head on his shoulders. But just, make sure that kind of pull the reins back. Don't let him do anything and everything. Crime and Innocence. Hello. Welcome to the stream, Crime and Innocence. Glad you could make it this morning. I started driving when I was 12, but that was on the farm. I was driving, drove a tractor, and then I drove an old GMC pickup truck with three on the tree. That's three on the tree is basically the shifter is on the column, not on the floor. But I was 12. I don't remember when I got my permit. I think I got my permit and my license on the same day for some reason, but it's been an awfully long time now. I think back on it. And what was really bizarre was we had moved from Wisconsin to suburbs of Minneapolis. And no, or is it the same? Yeah, Minneapolis. We moved to St. Louis Park, which is a suburb of Minneapolis. And when we went to go get our driver's licenses, because my sister was, well, she still is, she's 2 years younger than me, and she was getting her permit and at the same time. And they have a closed-in course that you actually drive on. Bizarre. Oh, I passed the first time. It took my sister, I think, 7 times. She had 5 or 6 times, somewhere there. She had to take it, I think, close to 7 times before she finally passed it. She failed the permit test, the written test, several times, and then she failed the actual driver's test. But Matthew, it took you 2 tries. I actually had, when I was 26, 27, somewhere in there, I had to go back. My driver's license had expired. Didn't even know. And the state law at that time was, if your driver's license, where I live here in Washington State, if your driver's license expired and it was more than 6 months past the expiration date, you had to take the written and the actual driving test all over again. And I got in trouble when I had to take it again. I mean, I passed it, but I kept on putting just one hand on the steering wheel. Those things you just get used to doing, putting one hand on the wheel and the other hand on the shifter. But the guy kept on telling me, put both hands on the wheel, put both hands on the wheel. And I'm just like, I can do this one-handed. Back up, parallel park, do all of it again. You loathe going to the DMV? Oh, I got to go back to the DMV here when they open again. Well, they finally opened, but in Washington State, we our driver's licenses are not considered official identification. We're one of only 2 states that, in order to travel, you have to have either an enhanced driver's license, which is a couple $100, or you have to get a passport. Well, my passport's expired. And from what I was told at the post office is, if I take the picture, send in a passport renewal, I might have it by, at the earliest, the end of July. I need to have something before then, so I have to get the enhanced driver's license. But they're not taking people right now to come in to do the enhanced driver's license. The enhanced driver's license, you have to show, for your birth certificate, another form of identification. So I'll bring in my military ID, and then my driver's license on top of it from the state. It's retarded. And I'm not saying that using that word in a derogatory term for anybody who is mentally disabled. I'm using it as in terms of the entire process is retarded. And I'm sorry for using that word if it offends anybody. Lena Girl, good morning. I missed a couple comments there. Let me scroll up. Kathy, your dad had 3 on the tree Valiant. That'd be a nice car to have. He has indeed. Well, teaching him a manual. Man, I learned 3 on the tree. Hello. We go back, don't we? Yeah, I guess it kind of dates us, doesn't it, a little bit, Hot Scorpio? Pilot Pete, good morning. I love the DMV. It's myself. You got 160, right around 160,000 people here where I live. One DMV. How hard could it be to open up another DMV? You go there if you're not, and before the doors open every single day, before the COVID, obviously before the COVID, there'd be 30 people in line before the doors ever open, and that'd be like an hour beforehand. And there's actually a coffee shop nearby where they come to the actual line with people who line up waiting to get inside the DMV, and they take coffee orders, and then you on a tablet device thing, and they take an order, and then they have another gentleman who comes over, and I guess it used to be like a Mermaid cart, 3-wheel cart, and he comes over with the coffee, and he hands out the coffees to the people that place the orders. So they're making good money, entrepreneurs. Let's see, Blue Mermaid. When I passed my third time 40 plus years ago, we didn't have a written test. Just the examiner just flicked through the highway code and asked questions. Wow. I don't remember. We never had to do that. Good morning, Pink Camo. I hope you're doing well this morning. Welcome to the stream. I was in California from Australia and had to drive on the other side of the road. Oh my God, only went on the opposite side twice. Passport in the UK is 70 pounds. I haven't looked at it what the renewal cost is. I should probably look into that. Judy Moody's Life Vlogs. Good morning, Judy, and welcome to the stream. I only had to drive around the block of the DMV when you got your license. Yeah. Well, they in Minnesota, they had a enclosed course, and then when we moved here, I just took my driver's license in, and they gave me a new one, but that's not the case anymore. Dardine Creek, good morning. Welcome to the stream. Your son is a lousy driver as a teenager. Now he's a driver's ed teacher at a high school. Wow. Excuse me. Patch had a 3 on the tree. And the Toran. I don't know what that is. LH Toran. We had the GMC that we had. It had no passenger door on the truck. The hood was blue. The 2 front fenders of that truck were yellow, and the bed was black. So it was probably made out of multiple different vehicles over the years. But it never had a passenger door as long as I can remember. We had that old GMC on the farm. Never had a passenger door. Gianna Marie, good morning. Welcome to the stream. Glad you can make it this morning. Karen, passport renewals are 110. Sounds about right. Pretty sure that's what it is. And that includes the photo. They charge extra for the photo. I don't know if I could ever be a driver's ed teacher, though. Don't think I have the patience for that. I taught my daughter how to drive, and that was nerve-wracking as hell. I wanted a brake pedal on my side of the car. And when I first taught her how to drive, it was a Ford Explorer, and so it's basically a tank, And she hit so many curbs with that thing. Oh my God. But then after I taught her how to drive, then she took private lessons through a company, driver's ed classes, because they don't offer driver's ed in the high schools here. And then she took all the classes up to the day that she was supposed to take her test, and then she stopped going. I think that cost about $400. She's never had a driver's license. She just refuses to go get one. Let's see, Alley Cat. Will, do you see the Vallow case? How do you see the Vallow case going? I think they are to push off on Alex. Where do I see the Vallow case going? That's interesting. Good question. I don't think that I think there's a very good chance right now what the state of Idaho and the DA there is doing. I think that what they're looking at if they can file federal charges along top of the state charges. If they can prove that Ty Lee was taken from Yellowstone back to Salem, Idaho, and she was killed either in Yellowstone or killed in Salem, and then had her, they disposed of her there. If they took her from Yellowstone there for the intent to do it, or they did it there and then brought her there, they could very easily charge both of Chad and Lori with a federal crime. And the easiest one to prove then, if they charge them federally, would be to charge them with murder for hire. That would be the easiest of the 5 charges that, murder charges they could file against them, because all they have to do is just prove Alex believed that there was something in it for him within the church, and if he did this deed for them, either said or expressed of some nature, and that he would, be bumped up, in statute, and within the their belief in their church, that if he did it, that is a payment right there, in a sense, for doing the deed. Oh, and Lena, the girl, the defense is definitely going to push that Alex did all that on his own, and they're going to be like, we never knew. He said that he was, taking care of them. They're going to do whatever they can. They're going to deny everything and try to push off, that Alex did this all, and he was just a rogue individual. But it's going to be hard as hell for Chad, with the pings from Alex's cell phone and then the pings from Chad's cell phone, and knowing that he was there, and the text messages he sent to Tammy at the time, saying that he was going to be burning things, and then he was going to be burying a raccoon, and all they got to do is dig up the area, and if they don't find a raccoon, well, then what the hell were you burying there, Chad? Do you have any conspiracies charges over there in America? Yes, we do, JJ. Conspiracy to commit murder. Not in the state of Idaho. There is, I don't think I have it in front of me. Good morning, Cece. I saw you. Just sitting here yapping away. Okay, so the underneath these are the murder statutes in the state of Idaho: 18-40 and 18-4003 and 18-4004A. Underneath those statutes in the state of Idaho, they could be charged with murder for hire, accessory to commit murder, accessory to the actual crime of murder, which are 2 separate charges. One's underneath 18-4003 and underneath 18-4004A. 2 different statutes. Second degree murder, and then they don't have a conspiracy to commit murder, but there's accessory to manslaughter, and then there is a manslaughter charge. They're all separate charges, and each one of them there's a different level of proof that they need to get to prove that actual charge. That's in the state of Idaho. Now, and when it comes to states here in the United States, there are different requirements for everything. You can commit murder in Ohio, and you have to have a certain ponderance of the evidence to actually be charged and be found guilty of that murder. And it may be less in Ohio, and maybe more in Wisconsin. So for different first degree, second degree, third degree murder. Idaho has first, second, and third degree murder charges, but it basically murder for hire is going to be their easiest one to prove. All right, back to the stream. Where did I leave off? There's CC. Good morning again. Someone was listening to what was Lori saying. Valos is having an easy time in jail. She has her own tablet. I don't believe that. If she has her own tablet, that must be something completely new that she has the access to. I don't believe they do, because the county jail there, if they got tablets for the actual inmates, which would be great for them to be able to send and receive communications between their attorneys. I'm sure she's not sitting back in her bunk watching Netflix on the tablet, but they probably, if she does have access to it, it would be in a limited fashion only for communications with her attorney. But back to what I was going to say, my point was that county there has run a deficit for the last 5 years. They don't even have enough money to run the county jails there, where her and Chad are both at. Both, the men's and women's, obviously, separate. Epitone. They are all wackadoodles. You are absolutely right, CC. Oh, all right. Mondstadt Mad Matt, the Angry God. Welcome to the stream. A little difficult to read the name, but I'll get used to it. Impossible question, but in your opinion, does anyone think they found anything suspicious with Tammy's autopsy? It would right now. I know from all right. So the autopsy results for Tammy, physical and the actual toxicology reports, neither one has been released in the media at all. Nor has it been leaked. And believe me, I am watching like a hawk out there, from the different sources that would leak it or where it may pop up if it ever does. Do I think there's anything suspicious with Tammy's? Well, I can confirm two things about Tammy's. Is the officer who initially showed up on scene that day. All right, I can't release his name. He's on the other page. But the officer who showed up on scene that day said that the body was in the first part of rigor mortis, that she had died and she had been dead at no more than 6 hours at that time by his estimate. He did not note anywhere in his notes foam coming from her mouth or any signs of foul play in the home or in the bedroom or with the body. What is out there is a lot of speculation. There's a moth in here. Sorry, squirrel. But do I think there's something suspicious? I don't know. I don't understand. Back to what your question is, though, is on the same lines about Tammy. Is Tammy and Chad both had a physical not even 6 months prior. And they both passed. And she was preparing for a marathon. And she died suddenly in her sleep. Yeah, it happens. But when you look at the totality of all of this, it's a little suspicious. Thanks that it's my son's YouTube name. Is it like a gaming name? Mondstadt Mad Matt, the Angry God. Sounds like something for Gods of War, or like a gaming name. That's cool. Wasn't Tammy embalmed? Will that make it more difficult? Yes. Not to get DNA, JJ. But yes, she was embalmed, and it makes it harder unless she was given something like a poison or something that would have filtered through one of her organs, like the liver or kidneys. But when she was embalmed, obviously all the blood was taken out, so they're not going to be able to do any toxicology reports on her blood. They may, on the physical examination, they may look for puncture wounds, needle marks, anything like that. If she was given something, while she was asleep, someone could have shot her up with insulin, and that could have killed her. But there'd be a puncture wound in the skin of from that. There's a lot of things that they're going to be looking for. Are they going to exhume Alex and perform an autopsy? Wasn't Alex cremated? I might be wrong about that. For some reason in my head right now, I think Alex was cremated, but I could be wrong. Hair can hold toxins too. Good morning, Mel. Wow, we've got a lot of people in here from Australia today. Appreciate each and every one of you being here. No pink foam. No foam, just silly. Where'd it go? Silly gossip. Good morning, Paul Top. I believe Alex did the murders, and Chad and Lori ordered him to do it. Just your opinion? I think you're right, Cece. Monica, good morning. Jack Frey, good morning. I hope you are both doing well this morning. I think that, I don't know if they ordered him to do it, but it does. The more and more that this case goes on, the more and more it looks like Alex was definitely the enforcer, and the bodyguard or whatever for the group. And what I'm really worried about and what I'm curious of is even the statements from Melanie Gibb and Melanie, was it Pulowski now, formerly Brudeau, both of them in their statements to East Idaho News and to other newspaper affiliates that they have actually talked with, both of them describe that this group, from starting in Gilbert, Arizona, and then moving forward, there were a lot more people who were involved in, who came to these, I guess you could call them religious study groups or gatherings. They both spoke about it was small gatherings, it was friends, and they never want to get into who was there. Who else might be dead and who might be leaving us soon? I missed some of this. Audra says Alex was cremated. For some reason, I had in my mind that he was. They can test cremated ashes for certain types of metals. Okay. I wasn't aware of that, Cece. Thank you. In my entire life, I've known two people who were cremated. Most people I know have been I've been buried, embalmed and buried. Yeah, I know that he died of an was it an embolism, blood clot? Good afternoon from England. Well, I'm glad you could be here today, Paul. Sorry, I'm going up to the streams. I start talking, I stop reading the streams. The comments. They both have unqualified lawyers, so I'm hopeful they'll get life in prison. Excuse me. Yeah, well, right now, Mr. Means, Means, that's Lori's attorney, and I believe he was on record for Chad, but then Chad hired some other attorney. That not spending a whole lot of money on him, but neither one of them has done a capital murder case, to put it that way. And so you're right. Not very good attorneys. Chad did not believe that craziness. He just wanted power and money and sex. Good morning, Lee Pepper. Is that who it was? Oh, the string went by before I could finish. Yeah, Lee Pepper. Good morning. Welcome to the stream. In America, you seem to embalm and bury. In Australia, we don't embalm as much. Burial, yes. Cremation is a fair bit. Well, and the embalming practices here in America started back with Abraham Lincoln. After Abraham Lincoln was assassinated, and they wanted to embalm, because a lot of people died during the Civil War. They embalmed them, and then to be able to transport them back to, their loved ones back home. But it didn't really catch on as a general practice until the embalming of Abraham Lincoln, and they put Abraham Lincoln on a tour, so people could see the fallen, president, and then it caught on. And embalming practices have been pretty steady here in America ever since. Now, there are alternatives to it. There's natural graves, basically where they did before the embalming practices, and they take you out to the middle of nowhere, and they bury you in a cardboard casket underneath your favorite shady tree. These things are options in certain parts of the United States, but a lot of it is the mortuary sciences and the mortuary associations have pushed for alternative burials to be outlawed in a lot of states, in a lot of jurisdictions across the different states in the United States. They want control over it. They want that money. Money, money. Good morning, Julie. How are you doing this morning? Welcome to the stream. Do you think they will talk on stand? Lisa, I don't think either one of the two has the balls to take the stand in their defense. Couldn't believe that they could test cremation ashes, but I saw it on forensic files. So I looked it up, and you can test ashes for certain metals that's in poison. That's cool, Cece. I didn't know that. I'm gonna go to the body farm. Mel is feeding her face. It's all good. You did an Undertaker course once. It was interesting. Hmm. I think Chad and Lori will deny everything. Oh, yeah, Leanna, I believe they're going to too. They're going to deflect as much responsibility as they can. And that's where it's going to be hard for the state of Idaho and the federal government if they do decide to add additional charges, which I believe they're going to. It's just going to be hard for them to, say that they're innocent of everything. I just can't believe, and I can't get over the fact that, when Lori and Chad were in Hawaii, smiling, window shopping, going to barbecues, hanging out on the beach, that both of the children were dead. How can you do something so awful, like have your children killed? They had to know. Chad definitely knew. Even if Lori can say, "Look, I didn't know where the children were. I thought that they were gone and they were away and safe." Even if she tried to say that, which I don't believe she can, but Chad knew. How do you go to paradise and hang out and enjoy life? I'll never understand that. Ooh, it's 3.5 hours from UCC. Well, thank you for the super chat, Julie. I thanked you for the last super chat in my last video. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Very humbled, Julie. Yeah. The body barn, body farm, FARM. It's basically an outdoor laboratory where they bury bodies in different circumstances, either laid out on the ground with no covering. Some of them they put in cars, and it's basically a study for forensic science to see how the body interacts in different situations with trying to put this as nicely as possible, insect life. I don't want to gross anybody out, but it's basically what it is. And it's been around for quite some time. They used to do tours of the main one. I do believe that there's 2 main body farms in America, but there are also certain universities do independent study where they study a body, the decomposing body. So all these bodies were people who died of natural causes, or they died, maybe in a car accident or something like that, and they donate their bodies to science. And they, then they go end up. Some of them end up at the body farm. Some of them they cut up into pieces and then they put them in bags and throw them in the river, and they watch the decomposition for certain, how the body breaks down. So science can learn how long has that person been in this situation, in the water or in this car or in this trunk or buried in the ground. That's how they learn all of it. They study it and watch it and see how long it takes for the body to decompose, and at when do larvae of certain insects, start to break down the body. What is it's very interesting. There's quite a few different documentaries out there on it as well. Forensic entomology. Correct, Gayla. Thank you. Decomposition. Body farm. Yeah. I know that here in Washington State, where I live, they did an entire series of bodies of not only pets but humans as well, and they were what they were doing. They were studying the decomposition rates for how a body or a pet would break down if it was embalmed, well, kind of like makeshift morgue. Somebody tried to embalm them, drain the blood, and then add something else to the body as a stabilizer, and then bury it, which would mimic an embalming. Washington State University has a huge veterinarian hospital. Everyone from Betty White, the actress, she takes her pets there. I know, back when I was in school, she used to show up there quite a bit to the hospital because she's a major benefactor of the veterinarian hospital there. But she also brought her own dogs there to be fixed. And for, I think one of them had hip dysplasia that they were doing a trial on to not only cure it, but something along that lines of like how to prolong the damage from hip dysplasia in certain breeds. Yeah, Mike, isn't she? She's got to be at least 450 years old. I think you're a little bit off there. 456 is a little too much. I think 450. But she's a feisty little one. Carrie Ludwig, you're a graduate of 1987 WSU. I went to WSU 1991 to 95, so we missed each other. On campus, when I first started attending school there, I lived in Waller Hall. Not the best dormitory. And then I moved to Campus North, CCN. And then I lived in the Bedrock Apartments, which is on the other end of the rugby field going out towards Hyco, on that end of town. It's changed a lot, though, Carrie. I don't know if you've been back there since, but I go back to Pullman at least once a year. And in July, I'll be going back there again to play in a golf tournament at the Palouse golf course. Orton, and then the Chinooks, huh? I used to deliver pizzas for a pizza pipeline. I know Orton Hall very well. I'm sure I delivered pizzas to Chinook Village as well. But it's changed a lot. There's a good way to get rid of bodies. There's a case where someone did that, paid a night porter to at a farm to take them in and say they came from the hospital. Just think of this. It doesn't matter where you are in the world, because these are all over the world. They've been exported outside of the United States so much. H.H. Holmes, in his madness, and he would kill people and then strip their bones of all the meat, and muscle and all the tissue and make complete skeletons out of them. He sold them off to different medical schools for people to study. And these are actual victims of H.H. Holmes are still all out there in real world. They found victims by doing DNA. They found them in the United Kingdom. They found one in Vietnam. because these bodies were then packed up in boxes by medical hospitals, and then another party bought them and then shipped them off. Oh, thank you, Julie. From Dr. Molosky, MD, fax at ABU, AGU, my wife, and I love you. Thank you, Julie. I was sure to add the good doctor to the next one as well. I'm thanking you both. I appreciate the support and this from you both. Just moved to Portland from Maryland. So glad to be back. We'll be going to WSU this year. Town has changed a lot, Carrie. It's changed a lot since, well, if you haven't been back since 87, you're going to be shocked. I mean, coming into town, there, depending on which direction you come from, if you're coming from Spokane, you're coming in on that end of town, or if you're coming, from like the Colfax area coming up that way, whichever, direction you come from. It looks the same coming into town until you see just how large the town has gotten and how much they've changed so many things. I have a good friend who is living there now. Her husband is actually working on his doctorate there at WSU. So they're living in off-campus housing right now, and they're looking to buy a place because they know they're going to be there for at least another 3 years, and they don't really want to rent a house or an apartment for the next 3 years while he's working on his doctorate. And I am a terrible friend. I don't know what the heck he is getting his doctorate in. I should know. I should probably call her because I'm going to be staying with them in July when I go up for the golf tournament. Carla, you love Betty White. The interesting is that all the people who reach an age above 90 say, my secret is don't marry. LOL. I don't know about that. I think I would have died a long time ago if it wasn't for my wife. That's the honest truth. I lived life in the fast lane. I never slowed down. She's been able to make me slow down, take care of myself. Smart woman. I'm sure Mark says the same thing about Cece. Good. It's good to have a good woman behind you or alongside you or whatever. My point. Only the women will. What is my name, Carrie? My name is Will. Will Finley. If I make up the years, I'll say the name. I'll not ever be married again. Anybody like the chat about Chaz or whatever it's called up on Capitol Hill? Anybody like? I'll talk about it, Monica. I did a video on a individual. His name is Peter, who was up on the chat zone, but that's only been released for channel members, for channel membership. But it's a very interesting situation that's going on there. I don't care what side you're on. I do not agree with the fact that they of some of the things in their demands. We'll just say it that way. I've watched some things on it. Tina has. It's nice to meet you too, Carrie. And I hope you enjoy Portland. I make it to Portland about 3 or 4 times a year. Normally, when we end up going there now, it's to go to IKEA. But I used to go there quite a bit. Between here and there, see, my father-in-law lives in Eugene. The rest of my wife's side of the family, they're in either Eugene, Salem, or they're in the Vancouver area. Got a lot of family, from my wife's side of my family, along the way there. Hi, Tina. Ooh. I'm doing good. How are you doing? I hope you've been well. Sorry if I didn't say hello earlier. That's my bad. Headed out to pick up my granddaughter. Take care, everyone, and have a nice weekend. Bye, faithful. You stay safe out there. 22 and 3 years wasn't easy. Yeah. Nothing in life that's worth it is easy. I really believe in that. If it was easy, I just got hit in the back of the arm by a moth. And they flew under the table. Haley Turner, good morning. Welcome to the stream, Haley. Me too, Cece. I'll give you some people to follow if you like that kind of stuff. Facebook and IG. No, IG. I learned what the IG means. That's Instagram. I didn't know what the heck that was until the other day. Somebody kept on commenting in one of my videos, IG, and I had no idea what the hell they were talking about. I'm like, individual. Well, I'm terrible at this, but yeah, I finally know what IG is. They were talking about Instagram. I have Instagram. Don't use it very much, but I do have it. Although I may be using it a lot more because I am sick and tired of freaking Facebook. Red Rum, good morning. How are you doing? Hope everything is well in your neck of the woods. My kids live there. My eldest is moving back to Pocatello. The cost of living is incredible. I lived there 85 for 8 years and went back. The changes were great. Pocatello, Idaho. Now there's some beautiful, beautiful country there. If none of you have ever been to Pocatello, Idaho, you gotta go. And there are some places in the Pocatello region, and it's just absolutely stunning. I am the same, Will. It is too much. Yeah. Right. I have IG. Never used it. Think I have one pick on it. Good morning, Southern Mom. Well, thank you, Blue Mermaid. When it comes to social media, I probably use Twitter more than Facebook. I get on the Facebook. I check the 411 Now true crime group, which there's 190 some people in that group, and nobody talks about anything. And everybody has the right to post without delay in that group. The only time I get flagged and I get a notice that somebody's trying to spam the group or sell something in the group, so then I delete them. I don't even bother messing around anymore. I just straight up delete them. But I don't use my normal Facebook, my personal Facebook, but maybe twice a week, if that. And that's mainly just to advertise, my YouTube channel, talk about that. When it comes to social media, I'm terrible at it. And hold on. Somebody mentioned peach cobbler. Love me some peach cobbler. I've never been out west. I would love to drive across the country and stop at all the good roadside attractions. Oh, I've done it quite a few times, Cece. Normally, would be doing it right now if it wasn't for this stupid COVID. There are a lot of great cities out there. You'll meet some of the best people you'll ever meet in small town America. Not that they're bad people in big cities. It's just a lot easier to meet them in small town America. What are you doing for vacation, Will, since baseball is canceled? I'm not doing anything. This is it. I work doing this now. This is my job. I don't even have a job outside of this anymore. And that what little traveling I can do is to golf tournaments, and that's it. No, formal vacation. Normally every year I take off the entire month of June, pretty much, and I travel the United States, watching baseball games. But I can't do that this year. Hell, don't know. I might take a trip up to Seattle. And go play golf and see Tim. You like to come see the U.S. one day? Again. Elisa, good morning. James Richardson, the King. Hello from London, UK. Welcome. Glad you could stop by. Irish Eyes, there you are. Good morning. How are you doing, Irish Eyes? I hope you are well. Zap got married in Florida in 1986. Yeah, that's a while ago. Yeah. We're gonna see what it's going to be like. Dardine, Major League Baseball starting in July. I just feel sad for all those who have been languishing in the minor league systems of different the AAA. So they're not going to get their April May call up. That's been canceled. So how is it going to work in the majors, to start off with? It's going to be interesting. Caroline Morrison, good morning from Scotland. Good morning and welcome to the stream. I got married at the Greta Green in 1987. Or do you pronounce that Gretna Green? I'm not familiar where that is, Blue Mermaid. I'm guessing somewhere in the UK, but I'm not familiar with that. Scorpio Rogue, I love the state. 2004, 2006, 2007, and 2018 to complete in BJJ tournaments. Loved regular America. That's cool. I'm trying to figure out what BJJ tournaments are. I'm Sorry for my ignorance on that. Can't wait for the to get your thin blue line shirts, Gala. I sold out of 2 additional colors already. They're selling pretty good. I'm happy for it. That they're actually selling. I have no control over the shipping times, because they're shipped by the United States Post Office. So right now everything's kind of like, either if it ships really fast and it's there shortly, or it's delayed. But they'll get there soon enough. Do you have one of your 401 mugs there, Will? I do. If you give me a minute, I'll go grab one. I'm back. It's not that far. It's only about 12 feet to the inside of the house, to the back door of the kitchen. So these are the actual mugs. So on one side, it's got the 401 now in red with the blue fingerprint, and then upside down. And then on the reverse, it's got the fingerprint in blue with black lettering. Now, before anybody else, comments though. So this is, I don't know if you can see this, but the background here is gray. All right. This one area, block the light there. See the difference there? Where the handle is white. That's actually done on purpose. I could have had the entire cup done in gray with a gray handle, white inside, but I stopped there because to have this area printed in gray in the gray handle, to have gray done all the way around, would have added $7 to the cost of the mug. And I'm like, I don't think anybody wants to pay $7 to additional. I mean, they're expensive enough the way it is. I try to offer them at the lowest price possible. And a lot of items that are in the fan store, I make almost nothing on. Some items I make $2 on. Some items I make $8 on. But I don't make a lot of money. It's not like a revenue stream for me. And then when it comes to like making hats and other items, like the tote bag, because I offer a tote bag, but it is 100% cotton, but it's unprocessed cotton. It's a higher end, more durable cotton, tote bag. I have to pay between $10 and $25, depending on if I want something printed on those. I have to pay for them to actually make. I put the design together, and then I have to pay for them to actually put that design on there, the file, and then I have to guarantee so many sales of that item. Because the way Teespring works is it's print on demand. So you upload your file, you offer the things for sale, and it just sits there. They don't do anything until somebody orders it, and then they make the actual screen or whatever it is, for printing the actual item on the mugs. Saves me money, and which I then pass on to, those who buy the stuff, the items. So I don't know if Cece. I saw her goat mug with Annabelle the goat, right? I've seen your mug, Cece. Thought about getting one. What I really want, Cece, in case if you're still around, is I want one of your rooster I want a rooster mug. That'd be cool. Sonny the Rooster. But this is this mug here is the, I want to say the fourth different mug that I've offered for sale. And they usually sell pretty good. I'll sell in a year, maybe 20, 30. Hot Scorpio Rogue. I run a martial arts school with my husband. We are black belts in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. We have so that's all right. BJJ, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Now I know. Okay. Thank you for that. We have competed in the States for many years. That is super cool. I've never done anything like that. Maybe I can get my son into to do something like that down the road. I received my turquoise 401 mug from the Teespring this week. It's so cool. That's cool, Dardine. I'm glad you enjoy it. Michelle collects mugs from different places and creators. That's cool. I in the house, I have probably a dozen different mugs from YouTube creators. 5 of them, I know 5 of them are from channels that don't even exist anymore. But I mean, just because the channel doesn't exist anymore doesn't mean that the mug's not any good anymore. It still holds coffee. I use this one. This is a Yeti, but I use this one, and I wish Teespring offered a Yeti or a travel mug like this, but they only offer these in one size. But I use this Yeti because I can take it to go with me. Run a martial arts school with your husband. We were black belts in jiu-jitsu. I am 54. Your husband is 57. You have rooster mugs, CC? Well, I'll have to go check out your store again. I didn't see the rooster mug. I saw the Annabelle. I did not see the rooster one. I'll have to look again. I am so sorry about that. Yeah, Cece, you can actually, so when it comes back to the white handle mug, so you can pay to actually, what I was talking about, you can pay to actually have the entire thing printed with the gray handle or mug. You have to pay a $10 upload for the design, and it's underneath specialty orders. Well, you may not have that option. All right, so the way, since you're on Teespring as well, if you go into not analytics, go into listings, and underneath listings, there you'll see like your perks, rewards that you've earned. If after you sell so many items, you can get an additional 10% or 20% off on your actual merchandise, and then you can order your samples for cost only right there. But then it'll have a link there if you qualify yet. You'll have a link for specialty orders. And underneath specialty orders, you can request that the entire outside of the handle and all of it be gray. But you have to upload it. You pay $10 on top of that option. And then you can have the not only this, but you can have things printed on the handle itself. But you have to unlock that perk. Still here. Good morning. Welcome to the stream. I'm glad you could stop by this morning. I want a Lady Liberty shirt. Don't offer them anymore. Sorry, Cece. The Lady Liberty shirts are gone. And the reason why is because Teespring changed from the all cotton Hanes. They went to Jensen Sportswear for the. So you know, like if you like, I know I see your next comment about the tie dye, but there's your basic T-shirt, then there's your comfort T-shirt, and then you have your medium, and then you have your quality blends. The lower end is no longer Hanes T-shirts; they're Jensen. And a couple of the ladies who I do a lot of business with, they'll buy the I buy the shirts at cost, and then I buy like 5 or 10 of them at a time of the Lady Liberty shirt, and then I sell them to them off market, and they give me a cut on the commissions, but they use them and they sell them at Crime Con and other conventions. They actually put them on display on their table along with other merchandise. Now, back to the, I'm trying to figure out how to do the tie-dye merchandise on there. Yeah, you have to, some of them you have to click on, and then you have to scroll down, and then you have to tell them how many order, you have to say, well, I think I can sell 15 of this. And then they're going to charge you a fee of either, I think it starts off at $10. I'm not sure about the tie-dye one. I've never offered the tie-dye shirt, but I know for certain items, like the hat, and I'm going to be offering the hat again, that the not the snapback, but it's got the adjustable strap on the back. I'm going to be offering those again, along with the beanie. Last year, I offered them during the wintertime. I sold out. I limit myself on how many of one particular design of T-shirt or hat or any one item. I say, okay, I'm going to do a limited run of 100 of this, and at 100, then I pull the listing. I cancel it. It's fun because you have to figure all this stuff out. Nobody tells you how to do any of it. And eventually, I'll get that merch shelf thing. They've been telling me for almost 2 years I'm eligible for it. I meet all the requirements. YouTube is going to give it to me. They're going to give me that merch shelf underneath all my videos. I don't ever think it's going to happen. They keep on telling me it's going to happen. At the same time, a YouTube employee opens up a YouTube channel tomorrow, and they've got 1 subscriber, don't meet any of the other requirements, they have the merch shelf immediately. And it's sad and disgusting. Yeah. I sold a lot of the Lady Liberty shirts 2017, 2018, and 2019. Sold a lot during those 3 years. A lot. I started selling the Lady Liberty shirt before I actually started on YouTube, CC. That's how long I've been selling that one. And if you look at the base of it, underneath Lady Liberty, it for each year, first year it just had 1 square underneath it for the pedestal, and then the second year it had 2, and the third year it actually had the year 2019 in it. I think I have Sunny merch in a different store. I'll post a link in the community page later. Thank you, Cece. Yeah, and that's another thing. I have 2 different stores. I have, for 401 now, I have 1 store, and then I have another store where I sell like the Second Amendment shirts and the ones that support law enforcement. They're 2 completely different stores for 2 totally different things. Excuse me. But me and my wife have actually been working to merge everything into just one. So like right now, the 401 Now store has 401 Now merch. It has the taco podcast shirts in it, and it has some of the merch from the other store for full and now. I mean, for law enforcement support. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, CC. I have another one that's kind of like that. That's got the Statue of Liberty on it though. That replaced the Lady Liberty. Was the I can't remember what it's called in that the 401 store, but there's two different versions of it. The other one I was selling in the law enforcement store. Bye, Irish Eyes. So the stream is gonna go for about another 10 minutes, and then I have to skedaddle out of here. Scorpio Rogue and CC finally found it. They changed the name. IG is Instant Forensics, and FB is Vintage Horrors. Oh. What happens on Patreon? Patreon is a way to support a creator like my channel. You pledge a certain amount per month, and everywhere from $1 per month all the way up to, well, how much money do you have and want to spend? But you can say, look, I like to support your content, and you can become a Patreon supporter for $1, $1 or 6 cents a day, and support content. And every dollar counts. Now, I will say, that those the lower end tier of $1 a month, there's only, I think, 4 or 5 different spots left, and then it's filled up, and then the next spot is, I think, $5. But for my channel, because I limit how many are on the lower end, because starting next month, I have to pay taxes on everything that I offer that is considered tangible goods, according to the federal government and to my state. So I'm sure CC is seeing a ton of freaking notices on Patreon about, we have to start, they're going to start charging taxes, and we have to pay them. So if those who are at the $1 amount, depending upon their location and what actual services or perks I offer, they're going to be charged taxes on their end, and then I have to pay taxes on my end. So that $1 pledge might work out to $1.30 or $1.32 for that person, and then it's going to be a shock to them. But it's basically a way to help support a YouTube channel, a creator. Not necessarily, my content. There are people on there who do comics, and there are people on there who do, video games. There are people on there who do music, all kinds of different creators of different media arts. But, because the taxes, no, I do believe it's only the taxes for the United States, those who are supporting the channel through in the United States. I don't believe they can charge taxes on. It's like you're in the United Kingdom. They can't charge you taxes for a service that is offered, here in America, because what the hell were the taxes before? That'd be tax without representation. You can't have that. Okay. But when it comes to me, they will tax me on my end. I'm sure the government's going to find some way to, get their dollar anyways. But I don't believe they can tax you or anybody who is outside of the country. No, you don't have to change anything, Blue Mermaid. Corinne. No, stay where you are. Don't pay anything more than what you can afford. I don't want anybody to change anything. I'm going to have to tweak the different perk levels and what I offer based on what the government's going to charge in taxes. I have to figure out. Okay, look, I got a week, not even a week left before this all comes about. Because on July 1st, they're going to start charging taxes. So it's not going to be much on the actual supporters end of what they're going to be charging. It's what they're going to be charging me on my end. And it's not like, the government's going to come to me tomorrow or take it right out of it. They're not going to say, well, you had $1, but we have to charge tax on that. So here's your 87 cents. No, they're going to give me the whole dollar. And then I just have to pay for it at the end at the end of the year. But there's ways around that. And what I'm looking at right now is is Patreon an American company? Because yes, they are based in California. Bye. Have a great day. Gotta go, Elisa. Thank you for being here today. Hi, TC. You're catching the last part of it here, though, TC. I'm going to go for about another 3 or 4 minutes, and then I have to get skedaddling. I'm not watching. Well, screw it. I'll go until to the 2-hour mark. We'll don't include U.S. because we don't ever do that. We support our local people and never use them to write off ever. All right, read that again. Well, that's me. Don't include us because we do not ever do that. We support local people and never use them to write off ever. No, what I'm going to do is what I'm looking at is when it comes to the taxes for what I'm paying, instead of actually taking away perks from people on Patreon, to balance out what I'm going to have to pay in taxes, what I'm looking at and my accountant is actually looking at, yes, I have to pay an accountant because I don't do my taxes by myself because I don't screw around with the IRS. They're a bunch of thieves the way it is. But what we're looking at is if I make donations to another channel, can I write that off as a deduction? If I can, then heck, I'm just going to keep on giving people super chat money and just keep it, a record of it all. Because every time you do a super chat or a super sticker, whichever, you get a receipt for it. If I can say, look, I'm giving it to this person as a donation, can I write that off? And would that then, cover the differences in what the taxes are going to be? There's ways to play around with it. And I'm gonna make sure that when it comes to the end of it all, that those who support my content are not hurt or lose anything from what I'm doing. Because I want to give everybody more. Yeah, short and nice. I mean, your total deductions have to be over a certain amount. But me and my wife together, we give enough to charity. If we can add a tiny bit of it, even if it's 10%, if we can deduct 10% of what we give to other channels, other creators, as a write-off, in which we don't think we can, but he's actually looking, our public, certified public accountant, he's looking into is, can you still count that as a deduction if you are not giving it to a nonprofit? because normally you can only write it off if you're giving the money to a nonprofit, and well, YouTube creators, and others like that are not nonprofits. But can we write it off along with it, even if it's 10%? If it's 10%, that would cover the taxes that I'm going to, see on my end for what the taxation is on Patreon for the different levels. Because I have 4 different levels. It's 1, 5, 10, 25, and then 50. So if I can find some way to balance it out, I'm trying to figure out a way to balance it out. Maybe what I can do is then, the other thing we've been thinking of is I get a lot of things in the mail. People send me. Some of them are longtime supporters of the channel. Other people send me things because they want me to review them. Like right behind the camera here, I have a tripod that is by ESDDI. Never heard of the company. They sent it to me and they wanted me to do a review on it. I got a tripod there, got one there. I've got like 5 tripods already. I don't need another tripod, but they sent it to me and they wanted me to do a review of it. Well, if I take that tripod and I find out what it sells for, I can donate that to a nonprofit. That gives me a tax deduction. And a lot of things. I mean, and when I say a lot of things, in a given month, I've received at least 30 items from actual supporters, people who watch the channel, and then others I get from companies who just send me vitamins, or it's all unsolicited. I never ask for any of it, and I really appreciate the stuff that that supporters have sent me, like this cross. I don't see if you can see it, but this is this was crocheted by one of my subscribers. It's a bookmark. It's got a little tassel thing on the end of it. I put was that spray starch on it, so it's not supposed to be like this, but that's where that came from. I got that from a subscriber. And I'm extremely humbled, that somebody would send me something like that. I love these things I do get from supporters and subscribers. So don't get me wrong there. It's just all the unsolicited things from different businesses that people send me. I'm not a review channel, and nor do I understand why people would send things like that to me. And some of it is just bizarre as hell. Like for the taco podcast, I'll tell you this really quick, ladies. You're gonna probably get a kick out of this. It all depends on how dark your humor is. So me and my wife, we do the taco podcast every Sunday, and somebody sent my wife a box. It was a priority, I guess not a small box, but a medium-sized box, and it said, and it had her name on it, Crystal, and then it said, care of Taco Podcast on it. We opened it up, and inside was, those decorative like lights that you put up in an office. They plug into a wall. Kind of give you an idea of what this is. All right, so it's a string of lights that you plug into a wall, but they're all little dicks, like male penises. They sent that to her, and they wanted us to put that up in the background when we do the taco podcast. And all the note said was, please display in the background of your next episode of Taco Podcast. Nope. As funny as it is, and as humorous, we laughed our butts off when we got it and we opened up the package. That was absolutely hilarious. There's no return address on it. We can't send it back to them. We don't know who it actually came from. We know that it did have something on the top of the letter like, supporter, love your guys' your taco podcast. Please display this in the background. But yeah, I can't put that up here. I don't know. I don't know if I can donate that to a charity so much, but I mean that's just how from one end of the scale to the other. Like that's one end of the scale of things that that we receive, and and then that end. Still funny as heck. Just want to know who sent it. She's gotten other things too. Massage oils. That I'm just putting it lightly. You guys can figure out where the are you interested in law enforcement shoulder patches? Gala? Yeah. I'll show you the ones that I have. Well, I can't. I don't have them over there. I have one. I have one from my local county sheriff's department. The one before they renewed it, they changed the total design. But oh yeah, and that's something that I could actually display in the background as a patch. There's a YouTube creator that I love watching, and for Gala, if you really like law enforcement, kind of like content on YouTube, you should check out Donut Operator. Now, he's no longer in law enforcement. He used to be, but he now owns a skateboard shop in Texas. And no, he's not a younger, like 20-year-old. I think he's probably in his mid-40s, but he has a huge patch wall in the background. And then there's Mike the Cop. He has a YouTube channel as well. They don't watch him as much as they used to. It used to be interesting until he kind of, just started going off the rails a little bit, from my taste. But, and then there's Officer 401. He does pretty good content. I like watching him, but not as much as Donut Operator. Get a kick out of him. Because Donut Operator is friends with Off the Ranch, which is maybe I guess you call it a family channel, family content. Well, I'd appreciate that, Gail. Hi, Kevin Brand. Good morning. Kevin, you're coming in at the end here, but you can watch it in review. I'm going to go for about another minute and a half, almost 2 minutes. Sorry, bud, but I hope you're doing well and you're staying safe out there and keeping your spirits up. But being in urology, I wouldn't do that. But that was funny, isn't it, Julie? What is Donut Operator's content? Blue Mermaid. He does law enforcement Leo reviews. All right, I'll give you an example. And obviously this is going to be a bad example because I can't think of anything off the top of my head right now. Let's just say the incident with George Floyd in Minneapolis. So what he does is instead of showing you the 7.5 second or 1 minute clip that you may see in the actual mainstream media out there, he gets through the Freedom of Information Act, he gets the complete video, body cam video from beginning to end, unedited. And then he reviews the entire thing and he tells you exactly, what happened in the case so you can be informed by what really happened. Now, in the George Floyd case itself, he admits that guy is a son of a, and what he did was wrong, because not only is Donut Operator, was he law enforcement, but I don't think he trained in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but he definitely had trained in some form of ground grappling. So. I'm not sure exactly what, but I'm sure he probably points it out in the video, because there are certain moves that, for ground self-defense for officers that's not Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu that an officer may have trained in. But he breaks it down that way and gives a complete explanation from not only from his experience, lifetime experience in law enforcement itself, but from in other instances too. Maybe it's a shooting, and it gives the complete video of it unedited and says, okay, this is what is really going on. And some of his content is him and his kids or his cats or his dog. It's more family oriented. He doesn't get into graphic content itself. And then a lot of it, if you go all the way back to the beginning, it's him, every day putting his life at risk in defense of society, as a law enforcement officer, and then him working up to the point where he actually decided to leave law enforcement. Now, I will say that his sister is still in law enforcement. I believe she is an officer in either North Carolina or South Carolina. Or maybe it's Virginia. It's one of those states on the East Coast of the United States. And he has a lot of friends who are still in law enforcement, and he's kind of toyed around with the idea of becoming, going back and being a reserve officer. Is the reason why he left law enforcement was he got sick and tired of the political BS within his actual department, playing office politics. He didn't want to do it anymore. And if you know anybody in law enforcement, you don't get paid very well to do what you are out there defending against, and putting your life at risk every day. But I got to go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you again, everyone. Julie and Dr. Mowski. Sorry if I mispronounced the name, but I will definitely put you both in the thank yous for next week's video. I appreciate the super chat and everybody being here. Take care and stay safe out there, and do whatever you can to try to keep your spirits up. I know what's going on right now in society as a whole is some weird stuff is going on, but just keep your head and keep your spirits up, everyone. Until next time, stay safe.